All right, ladies and gentlemen, good Monday morning. Let's get airborne. Welcome aboard Q2, full throttle. Extremely fired up. Had an incredible weekend. Just an absolute God moment. Every moment is a God moment, but this past weekend went down to Key West Naval Air Station where it started for me 32 years ago. So 32 years ago, I started my career as a young Navy ensign. Man, I'm going to age myself. 1991, April of 1991, got commissioned as an ensign in the Navy. Drove down to Naval Air Station Key West because there was a delay to start flight training in Pensacola. And man, the time of my life started down there. So it was pretty cool this weekend being able to take 32 years later my own fighter jet down to Naval Air Station Key West with my son in the back seat. Matthew flew down with me, and then my son Jack flew back with me yesterday. See the Blue Angels, hang out with those guys for the weekend. It was just an incredible time, raising awareness for the mission of our charity, which we'll get into in a little bit. And man, there's a lot of. I'm so glad I went to this air show because there are a ton of veterans who live in the Keys. Duh, I probably should have known that, but man, the message that I spread this weekend to I lost count. It was awesome. It was a great weekend. So definitely a God moment. So I am fired up. Rob, you were down at VF 40. Yeah, I was down at VF 45, man. I was a Blackbird, VF 45 Blackbird, man. Yeah, what an absolutely great time. The Blue Angels this weekend were tight. Lakeland, Sun and Fun was an embarrassment. The Blue Angels will be the first to tell you that there has never been a perfect flight demonstration by the Blue Angels, right? It might look perfect from the ground. They're always looking to get better, right? So, but this time was much better than Lakeland. So I was so happy. Got to talk to number 5, Whiskers, for a while. Talked to a bunch of the guys at the air show party, and it was pretty funny, man. They're like, "Who's this old dude with a beard and a flight suit with a Top Gun adversary patch, 2,000 hour patch, and talking about psychedelics and saving veterans' lives?" Man, it was pretty damn cool. I got a stack of books. I got sitting over there. I got to mail out to the Blue Angels. Sorry, what's it have to do with trading? Everything, because I'm in a great mood. How many of you, let me ask you, since we got like 300 people registered that have no idea what TGO is, some partners that we just became friends with mailed for us for this Q2. So welcome aboard to all the new folks. I'm going to give you a little bit of a demo. If you're like, who the hell is this guy? And he's talking about Blue Angels and foundations and stuff like that. We're going to get into all of that stuff. But how about this? At least, did you start your day today, before we talk about trading and sniper shots and all sorts of stuff? Did you wake up this morning, wash your face, brush your teeth, all that good stuff? Did you go and meditate? Did you take 20 minutes to start your day with gratitude? For what? You woke up. If you're watching this, most likely you had a roof over your head. Maybe you had somebody around you that loves you. How blessed are you? Did you start with some gratitude, some mindfulness? That's how I start my day, man. Then I went to yoga, and I got my ass kicked in hot yoga. It was probably the toughest hot yoga session I've ever done. Why? As you're going to see this week in our 4 free live trade briefs, you're welcome. 90%. I know you did, Mitch. Obviously you did. 90% of trading is emotional. Not like 49, not 51, not 60, not 70, 9. When I started investing, folks, when I started trading, when I reported to Naval Air Station Key West, I got my first paycheck as an ensign. $25, $50, I forget what it was. 25 or $50 went to the USAA Aggressive Growth Mutual Fund. It's been a long, strange trip. And guess what? 90% of it's emotional. So the techniques, the procedures, the checklist that I'm going to give you this week work. I guarantee you they work. Why am I calling this, how to target profits in a hostile market? Because everybody's a genius when the market's going straight up. Folks, it ain't hard to trade or invest when the government jumps in to save capitalism. You got to be an idiot to not make money in that type of market. Now, with Uncle Sam taking away the punch bowl, at least until the rich wank about it and get the punch bowl back, things are pretty damn hostile, aren't they? If you look at the market for the past 6 months, it looks like a heart rate monitor. I love it. Go to cocktail parties down at the air show, talking to people who are like, oh my God, I'm getting destroyed. I'm like, well, here's my card. Check out our brief Monday. All right, let's go ahead and get airborne because we have a lot to cover this week. Earnings kicking off. Earnings kind of kicked off on Friday. JP Morgan. We had the Fed last week. We have a lot to talk about, but let me knock out a quick intro, and then I'm done with this for the rest of the week. This intro, because a lot of you are sitting there going, I have no idea who this dude is. Let me take care of that. So welcome aboard Full Throttle. Our Full Throttle is a training program. I am going to teach you, if you have no idea what an option is, the S&P 500 is, you have no idea what the Fed is, you have no idea about anything, welcome. When I showed up to Naval Air Station Pensacola in 1991, I had my private pilot's license, so I kind of knew a little bit about aviation, but man, there was a guy in my he was from Montana. His first flight in an airplane was in an airliner to Pensacola. And in a short amount of time, he learned how to be a steely-eyed fighter pilot. There was also a guy who flew Learjets. He was a corporate pilot. I want to go fly fighters. He almost failed out of Navy flight training. Why? Because he didn't learn the right way. The Navy taught me in a short amount of time to be a steely-eyed fighter pilot killer. I'm going to teach you in a short amount of time how to be an options trader. This ain't hard. It ain't rocket surgery, folks, okay? So let's go ahead and get airborne. Absolutely. He had bad habits. Mission objective of this week, I'm going to show you how this could be your most profitable year ever. If it's hostile, whiz, yeah, as an options trader, we love up, down, sideways. We can make money potentially if the market's moving up, down, or sideways, period. 99.9% of you, if you don't know how to trade options, are in the what? I can make money 3 ways too. Yeah, it's called the buy, hope, and pray. You buy a stock, you hope it goes up, and if it doesn't, you start praying. That's dumb. Options traders, we don't care. We prefer up because things imploding, people are hurting. Bad things are happening. People are depressed. But guess what? You want a friend, get a dog. I love down markets. Why? Because I print money. I wrote a book, a stack of them over in the corner of my office called COVID Crash. As others were stupid, we printed money. I'm going to show you our methodology, our trading methodology, and how we, you ready for this? Manage risk. Okay, this dude's a fighter pilot. He's talking about managing risk. Yeah, first of all, I love myself too much to let anything bad happen to me. Second of all, or more importantly, I don't want to fail. Right? Fighter pilots, folks in the military, shit's crazy enough, let alone if you're stupid, right? Well, who is it? Sergeant Stryker in the sands of Iwo Jima. Life's tough. It's even tougher if you're stupid. So let's not do it. Here's our flight schedule. You're in the welcome aboard brief. I'm going to make this brief. It's a brief. It's not a long. So we're going to knock out a quick brief. Tomorrow's the primary brief. Wednesday's the AR, accelerated retirement. So these are kind of skill-based portfolios. And then we're going to do Thursday, I'm going to do a benefit one. Solo Amazon. Solo Amazon is a separate trading service, but a lot of folks who, if they don't do full throttle, they're like, you know what, let me try out the Solo Amazon service to get my feet wet at TOPGUN options. So I'm going to smush these all together this week. Gold Star, if you guess, the only stock we trade in that service. So you're registered for all four, and the same link for each brief. I'll send you a reminder email before the briefs start, but it's the same link you use to get in here. You're registered for everything. We're also probably going to talk about a top secret tactic called a tredge. A trade, I want to make money. If I don't make money, I'm not happy about it. Why'd I lose money? Blah, blah, blah. A hedge, okay, it lost money, right? I didn't climb out of my L-39 Albatross fighter jet this weekend and look at the ejection seat and go, man, what a waste. Can't believe I flew with that thing. I would have rather had more gas. That would have been the flight I died on, right? So you don't necessarily want your bilge pumps to be working, but if they are, good, right? So this is kind of a Frankenstein, a trade that I'm pretty damn sure is going to make money. That's also going to serve as a hedge to protect some of the longs in my portfolio. I don't have a ton of longs in my personal portfolios, folks. I got Amazon and psychedelics. We'll talk about psychedelics in accelerated retirement on Thursday. And I really don't see too many people using this tactic anywhere else. I go and play secret shopper at other places when I'm bored. Other places suck. So no distractions. Silence your electronic nicotine. Make sure you hang out towards the end because I usually give out some free stuff because I'm awesome. Newsflash. Nobody cares more about your money than you. I swear, folks, not a week goes by when what do you do? Well, I teach people how to trade. Well, my uncle manages my money. My college roommate manages my. You know how many times I've heard that? Who was that? Oh my God, somebody who's here maybe. Where did I? Fort Lauderdale. Somebody's like, gave my best friend like $400,000. There's 9 left. Pretty sure he's not a best friend anymore. If somebody else cares more about your money than you, you're weird. I'm not being rude. That's the truth. Nobody. And I love my financial advisors. Trust me, there might even be some in here. There might even be, because every once in a while I get a little comment like that. I don't care if you're a fiduciary. Okay? As a registered investment advisor, I have a fiduciary duty to my clients. I get it. You care more about their money than them, then you got an idiot for a client. So, folks, learn to do this on your own because nobody gives a shit about your money. I don't care about your money. I care about mine. It's funny, when I take people flying in my jet, I'm like, we're not going to eject today. I love me, and you just happen to be with me. It's funny because people watch, what's that movie with Sully, Miracle on the Hudson or something? Oh, what's the count? And he's such a hero. The fact that 150 people were with him is gravy. The dude, I care about me and my money. I'm going to train you, and you're going to get to watch me as I'm doing what I'm doing. But what you do on your side of the computer is your own business. That's between you and God. Okay? But nobody cares more about your money than you. Trading's a form of combat, man. You're going to see I ran a firm in Chicago, and some of the partners, the one partner's like, Wiz, we treat retail traders as cordwood. You guys are liquidity. You think somebody on the opposite side of the trade is going to be nice because you're you? Trading's a form of combat, folks. Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to get their ass kicked. Which one do you want to be? Why do you want to listen to me? Over the past 12-ish years that TGO's been around, 70-ish% average annualized return, right? And I'm going to show you how the wrong trading instrument can kill your portfolio, or instruments, actually. A lot of people are doing this wrong. Combat-proven process, right? Flew missions over the skies of Iraq. Wasn't combat. They were combat sorties. Never got shot at. It was boring. The toughest flying I ever did in my life was at Topgun, right? Everything should be a letdown. When you go somewhere in the world, in the U.S. military, if we're surprised or we're getting our ass kicked, we suck. Top Gun sucked. So, but took this stuff to Wall Street, folks, and it was awesome. This isn't for everyone, folks. This isn't for everyone. We don't take everyone. I boot people. We turn people away. Don't need the money, folks. I'm here. You have got to want this. Okay, you have absolutely got to want this. Who's this? Me, Wiz, Matthew Buckley, call sign Wiz, flew the Hornet for 15 years for the Navy, graduated from Top Gun as a bad guy, an adversary, and deployed a couple times on Abraham Lincoln and Kitty Hawk. What's this have to do with trading? Everything. When I was a young ensign down in Key West, guys sitting in the ready room or playing foosball or whatever, I was interested in making money, too, on the side. You don't join the Navy to get rich, folks. You join the Navy to serve the country, see the world, blah, blah, blah. But I was always interested in finance. And, as I was a student aviator, I just started applying everything I was learning flying a fighter aircraft to my trading. having a strategy, implementing tactics, contingency planning, managing risk, knowing when to get out of a good or bad situation before it got worse. Okay? And it worked incredibly well. How did TOPGUN options start? Absolute tragedy. The morning of 9/11, getting ready for my first flight as an airline pilot for American Airlines. My wife came in, said, you better come look at the TV. Somebody hit the World Trade Center with an airplane. I'm like, I'm busy, woman. I'm packing. Gotta fly today. Probably a small airplane, bad weather. And she gave me that look. I'm like, okay. I saw what you guys saw, man. I went out in the living room. Beautiful day in New York City, not a cloud in the sky, big smoking hole. And I literally was standing there. I'm like, going through my mental aviation checklist of, boom, next plane hit. I immediately knew we were under attack. Went into the room, my American Airlines uniform in plastic, moved it out of the way, grabbed my flight suit, put on my boots, broke the land speed record in my 89 Porsche out to Naval Air Station Fort Worth. As they closed it and went to a combat posture, me and another Hornet pilot made it out there along with 4 other F-16 pilots. We briefed to get airborne, and we ended up flying combat air patrol over Texas. The SPADs got airborne. Gruff and I were at the end of the runway, fully armed. Went from potentially flying in an airliner that day to shooting one down. Could you imagine being ordered to shoot down an airliner full of you or one of your best friends? Out of the 18 guys in my reserve squadron, I think 15 of them were airborne that day flying for the airlines. Could you imagine having to shoot down your best friend? It was awful. Forced an airplane to land a couple days later that was flying near prohibited airspace, made national news. It was awful. Well, guess what happened? A week later, I get a photocopied letter from American Airlines that said, "Dear Edward, you're furloughed." And that's a polite airline term for laid off. Holy shit, man. Didn't have a lot of money. I was living in base housing. When I got out of the Navy, what little money I had saved, went to as a down payment on our house. We were screwed. But folks, people were it was a horror, right? I had to feed my family, and I said, you know what, man, stop it. Stop feeling sorry. Get the fuck up, dude. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. It's time to get serious. So I applied myself. I had to pay bills, man. I had to eat. Started trading full time. And guess what happened? I popped up. Things were going so well. I popped up on the radar of one of the largest volatility arbitrage firms, headquartered right there in the Chicago Board of Trade. It was awesome. That's our trading floor right there. That was our trading firm. So I got called up to the big league, so to speak. I helped build a hedge fund when I was there. I helped build the retail brokerage options house when I was there. I was the managing director of strategy for a multi-billion-dollar volatility arbitrage firm. And then I was the founder and CEO of the Options News Network, ONN.TV. It went from me to 80,000 traders of all skill levels in under a year. And it was a blast. Yeah, I jokingly tell people I was Valentine in trading places. I went from the streets to the big leagues, but I got to be honest with you folks and keep this secret. There's no such thing as the smart money. The smart money. Legendary investor. Those legendary investors told you as the market imploded due to COVID, this is the bottom. I'd buy here. This is clearly the bottom. All the way down. They were kind of the stupid money, weren't they? I made millionaires. They told you to buy. Why? Because they were long only and they were stupid. There is no such thing as the smart money. Well, we are the smart money. You are the smart money. I've seen these people, folks. Anthony Scaramucci or Bill Ackman. Oh my God, the regional banks are going to fail. Bail us out again. You're the smart money? You didn't know the Fed was going to raise interest rates? You didn't hedge the interest rate risk? No, we didn't, because we knew you all were going to bail us out again. Don't get me started about this bullshit. There is no such thing as the smart money. I spit my coffee out every time CNBC's like, up next, legendary investor. I'm like, that idiot? Stop it. There is no such thing as the smart money, folks. We are it. I love this picture because clearly I'm older and maybe less wiser, because this is when we left Chicago to come start TOPGUN Options. He's 22. My son Matthew's following in his dad's footsteps. He's going to officer candidate school here up in Newport, Rhode Island, I think in the fall. John Peters going to CU Boulder, and he wants to go Navy ROTC and follow his dad. Keely is 15. She's a cheerleader, and she's not allowed to leave the house until I transition out of this world. No fallen heroes, folks. Also have a podcast that's ranked in the top 2%, 2.5% of all podcasts in the world. When I found that out, when they emailed me and they're like, holy shit, man, your podcast is exploding. I'm like, so I had to Google how many podcasts were in the world. And there's currently 3.1 million podcasts in the world. So the Max Afterburner podcast to be up there is pretty cool. So make sure you can listen on Apple Podcast, Spotify, all sorts of stuff. So check that out. Like I said, I've written 2 books. One is called From Sea Level to Sea Level. That's the ones I'm sending as soon as I get off this brief to the Blue Angels, because a bunch of them, because it's me transitioning from the cockpit essentially to the trading pit, and the lessons that I took and applied to the business world. That it cracked me up. Again, the smart money. Oh my God, this rollout failed. Okay, let's meet it like after the market closes and debrief what went wrong and how do we fix it. Oh my God, that's so smart. I'm like, what? Oh, well, no, we were just going to go on to the next thing. I'm like, the fuck you were. Get in the boardroom. I'm going to close the door and we're going to rip each other to shreds and figure out why we failed and how we're going to get better. Oh, wow. You're so smart. What? Then I wrote COVID Crash, From Panic to Profit. Yep, we called it to the day. Donald Trump, January 22nd, sitting in Davos of 2020. Joe Kiernan, CNBC, never forget it. I can recreate the entire interview. The most important part was the end. As they're running out of time, Joe Kiernan goes, final question, Mr. President, what's this flu thing in China? What's dumb question, Joe? Why are you wasting my time with such a dumb question? You're dumb. Xi's a good dude. Trust Xi. Not coming here. He's got a great backswing. Been to Mar-a-Lago. Love Xi. Flu. No flu. You're dumb. Move on. I looked into this camera and this microphone. I said, get out. Buy puts on the S&P 500. Get long volatility now. He's lying. What? Who came up the next day on CNBC? Ray Dalio. Legendary investor Ray Dalio. The smart money. He looked into the camera in Davos and said famous words. What did he say, folks? Cash is trash. That's the next day where I'm like, get even more bearish. And then what happened? We made millionaires. I do outsider trading. U.S. senators, what did they do? They got the intel that I got from an unnamed deep throat. And what did they do? They came out and went to the microphones and looked at you and said, what? Not coming here. Everybody, everything's fine. Remain calm. And they grabbed their cell phones and they called their family members and their best friends and said, get out. 4 U.S. senators did that. What happened? After a year investigation, they are cleared of any improprieties. Martha Stewart goes to prison, U.S. senators. So I did outsider trading. I knew what they were told, and they lied to you. Me, I told everybody. I did my daily sit reps, my free brief. I told the world. If you listened, you became filthy rich. So after that happened, God takes care of fools, drunks, and sailors. Bases loaded for whiz. I kind of said, I remember my dad. He's like, you can't take it with you, son. Right? It'll be easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. So you know what I did with my money? I threw it over the fence, a shit pot of it, and I started a foundation, a 501c3, trying to reduce veteran suicide. Anywhere from 20 to 40-ish veterans take their own lives every day. Those numbers are going to start dropping. Why? We're running out of veterans. Is this a priority for the government? No, we're busy funneling money over to Ukraine, and Zelensky and his generals are skimming hundreds of millions of dollars of that money. Holy shit. So I started a foundation to save veterans' lives. I 2 years ago, this will be brief. We'll talk about this on Wednesday in Accelerated Retirement. 2 years ago, I went to Mexico. I'll give you the cliff notes of this. Marcus Luttrell, the lone survivor. Many of you have seen the movie Lone Survivor, read the book. Marcus Luttrell, me, one of the co-founders of Black Rifle Coffee. Jared Taylor, an NFL superstar, and another Navy SEAL veteran. We went to Mexico and we did psychedelic-assisted therapy. Short story long, completely changed my life. Changed my life, saved my life, and this is my new mission. I love training you all. I'm going to love doing Full Throttle. I'm going to welcome all the new members aboard this week. We're going to have a blast. This is my purpose. Saving and changing veterans' lives. In 3 weeks, we're taking another group of veterans down to Costa Rica, which breaks my heart. How about we heal Americans in America? You're telling me are the people who deserve our best are being forced to sneak down to Mexico or Costa Rica to do life-saving therapy? Yeah. Why? Well, because Nixon and a bunch of other jackasses made this stuff illegal. Why? Because it turned warriors into peacemakers. Can't have that. They turned into maybe we should all love each other instead of going to Vietnam and killing. Why are we doing that again? Oh, whatever you're doing is illegal. Yes, everything is recorded, and I'll show you the replay page in a second. Let me, did I load this? Yeah. Do me a favor, because I want to take a sip of my Black Rifle Coffee product placement. I want to show you something. Do me a favor right now. Everybody sit 200, 300 people in this room. You're going to sit up straight. You're going to turn up your speakers, and you're going to watch this. Okay? Turn up your speakers and watch this, and I'll be right back. All right. So that's our mission right there is and any support or anything you could provide would be great. Like I said, we this isn't about no fallen heroes, but I just want to give you kind of a heads up with what we do. We have a great team. I was just texting with AJ Buckley. He's down in Medellin for some stem cell therapy, but we have an incredible team. Dr. Rosie Barnes, former F-14 Tomcat pilot, badass chick, who's our chief medical officer. Talk about an underachiever, man. Tomcat, fighter pilot to a doctor. AJ Buckley, you should know from Field Team. They're going in episode or season 5 or 7 or something like that. AJ Buckley's an incredible human being. We got Jack Maxwell, if you remember the show Booze Traveler. Jack Codishandra, who runs a hedge fund for psychedelics. Daniel Carcillo, 2-time Stanley Cup champ, man, for the Blackhawks. Just an incredible human being. Jack Doyle, a Wall Street guy. Orestes Lorenzo, Cuban MiG pilot who stole a MiG-23 and defected to the United States. And then our director of medicine operations, Nicole Fox. So just a quick brief. So that's who I am, folks. Let's how long did that take? I'm 2 minutes late. I was like, budget 30 minutes for the opening brief. I'm sorry. So I owe everybody a round of drinks. Really don't drink that much anymore, so I'll just stand there and watch as you guys enjoy. So let's go ahead and get airborne. What is that right there? Right? Well, that's an F-18 Hornet. But what is it? It's an inanimate object, right? I don't want to turn this into a gun debate, clearly, but I'm really amazed that people look at inanimate objects and they blame the inanimate objects for things. I don't look at the Fiat that my sister Monica was riding in, that she was thrown from and broke her neck, and she transitioned. 19 years old as a college student. I don't look at that car and I hate that car, right? And a car, a gun, an aircraft are inanimate objects. But when you place them in the hands of somebody who's trained or somebody who's nuts or drunk, it can become a lethal weapon. That's what we're going to do here, man. I will teach you how to do all of this. It ain't hard. I'm a poor kid from South Jersey, South Philadelphia, one of 6 kids, political science major. This is not hard. And as I've already pointed out, there is no such thing as a smart money. You can do this. So how do we target profits in a hostile environment? We're going to get in here right now, and I'm going to show you. So like I said, with a trade, you want to make money. With a hedge, you don't mind losing money. Isn't that weird? So, it's you're in a brief and you're like, wait, this guy, I'm in a brief on how to make money and he's talking about losing money. Stick with me. TFW, man. Train, fight, win. This is how you target profits in a hostile environment. I'm going to train you. We're going to go in and dogfight in the market, and we're clearly going to win. How do we train? How am I going to train you? Let's start with super high level. Here's my methodology. And again, thank you, United States military, Navy, fighter aviation, for teaching me this. SOT, strategic, operational, tactical. Okay, I'm so glad that nobody in this box has gotten thrown out yet. I do this. It seems like maybe once or twice a year, somebody comes in, right? And usually around now or before now, somebody says what? Where are the trades? This is a waste of my time. And I usually click exit and I boot them before they leave on their own. Why? Because they're what? That's an average retail trader. If you came into this live trade brief going, where are the trades? What's this guy talking about? You're doing it wrong. You're going to burn out. If you're waking up in the morning, putting on your bunny slippers, grabbing a cup of coffee and looking at CNBC looking for trade ideas, what are you doing? The average retail trader is very tactical. You don't know what you're doing for lunch today, let alone what you should be investing in 2 years out into the future. I'm going to break you of that. Here's what we're going to do in our live trade briefs today-ish, tomorrow through Thursday. I'm going to give you a strategic brief I'm going to treat you like you're an admiral or a general. Sit there with your cigar, put your boots up on the desk, and listen. I have to give you a strategic brief about what? What's going on around the world, globally, right? What's going on economically, politically, and you're ready for this? Militarily. Look at those three areas. Everybody remember years ago the Greek debt crisis? You woke up and your 401k was a 201k. What the hell's going on in Greece? Why is my portfolio getting destroyed? What about the Brexit? Remember all this stuff political? What happened to the market when Russia invaded Ukraine? Folks, what's going to happen when China invades Taiwan? So, folks, you got to pick up your binoculars and look downrange. Okay, after about a 10, if it depends on what's going on in the world, right? Israel, Iran is going to happen. Israel, you're not going to get a nuclear weapon. Iran, we're developing nukes just for peaceful purposes, but if we get a nuke weapon, we're going to kill you. Does anybody know? Does anybody think those two people are going to get in the room and go, sorry about all that rhetoric. We love each other. Or is there going to be war between Israel and Iran? What's been happening for the past couple months? Brazil, India, Saudi Arabia, Iran, all cozying up to who? Xi and Putin. The United States is imploding. The dollar is imploding. It's not worth the paper it's written on. Lula was just, did you see Macron last week? Cheese-eating surrender monkey. Yeah, we really don't need to follow the United States anymore, especially on Taiwan. Who gives a shit about Taiwan? And then in the same breath, Macron's like, give Ukraine more weapons and money. What are you doing, dude? So anyway, see, I'm already getting into my strategic brief. So after a 10 to 15 minute strategic brief, folks, so then we're going to get operational. We're going to peel the onion back a couple layers, and we're going to look at what? What's going on here? What's going on with Jerome Powell, the Fed, interest rates, earnings? What about politics? Politics doesn't impact the market at all. Are you an idiot? Ladies and gentlemen, I loved Barack Hussein Obama. What? I did. Why? Do you remember all those government shutdowns? Him and John Boehner, the quivering lip Marlboro dude. Or if we don't reach a budget deal, the government shuts down. What would happen to volatility and what would happen to the market? Volatility would spike, the market would implode. Free money. Even though I'd like the government to shut down forever, what would happen? Quivering Marlboro man would come to the microphone a couple days later like, oh, we're going to reopen the government. Volatility would implode and the market would pop. Holy shooting fish in a barrel, man. I love politics. What's going on in a month or two? Have you seen Leader McCarthy? Or Speaker McCarthy, not Leader. Speaker McCarthy. Yeah, if Joe doesn't meet me at a table, we're not raising the debt ceiling. We're going to default on our debt? Yep. Folks, get ready for more free money as I teach you how to trade all of that stupidity. So, strategic brief, operational brief, and then, and only then, towards the second half of my daily briefs, do we do what? Trade. It's so funny, man. I've been doing this for over 3 decades, folks. I bump into tactical people all the time. How do you do that? First of all, they blow out, they lose money, and they're gone. They're done. You can't be a tactical dude or lady forever. Trust me. You got to throttle back, man. Strategic, operational, tactical. I guarantee you. So train. FVT. When we invest, when we trade, there are a couple things we have to look at. First of all, we have to look at, this is, now I sound like I'm really old, the fundamentals. Why am I sounding really old? Because kind of in this new market we're in, sometimes the market doesn't care. I remember looking at my Trade Monster platform, and it didn't have enough zeros for Amazon's PE. I remember years ago, Amazon had a price-to-earnings ratio of like 3,000. They actually had to go in and code an extra decimal spot. In my father and mother stock market, that didn't make sense. But fundamentals do matter. When the market cares. I'm going to teach you a bunch of wisdoms this week. The market only cares when it cares. Trust me. If that's like, well, duh, no, I'll give you, well, duh, listen to me. I'm going to use that a lot, and then I'm going to go, market cares today. We also have to look at volatility. What's volatility? Uncertainty, period. Use the word volatility at cocktail parties if you want to sound smart. I do. I worked at a volatility arbitrage firm. Oh my gosh, it wasn't that special. So we'll look at volatility. Uncertainty. The more uncertainty, the more premiums, the more options cost, right? Uncertainty. And then obviously, I do look at a little technical analysis. What's technical analysis? Well, we used to burn witches too. No, if you're big into technical analysis, the first question I'm going to ask you is, are you allowed to trade off the left side of the chart? That's what a lot of technical analysis people are like, look at this reverse dojo head. I'm like, okay, what's out here to the right? Oh, that didn't happen that way. I look at technical analysis. It's part of my scan pattern. It ain't the end all be all. Trust me. And then obviously, when I teach you to look at fundamentals, volatility, and technical analysis, we're going to do these briefs. Absolutely. This is where the rubber meets the road. Okay. So let's go ahead and get airborne, do some quick trading and trade briefs and stuff like that, and do a quick update. Take a look at this market right now. What's this? I mean, here's year to date. Now, obviously, that's the beginning of the year. Look at this thing. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I mean, are you seeing a trend? I do. This, ladies and gentlemen, to a lot of you, is a very hostile market. To me, looking at that, it's all money. These bear market rallies have a ton of airspeed on them. Here's another wizism. When something's on a tear, either join it or get out of the way. Right? I called this one as it turned. I'm like, okay, I don't believe it, but guess what? Trade the market you have, not the one you want. Because I know what's going on. Regional bank failures, rising interest rates, inflate. Things suck. This market should not be up here. Okay? But guess what? If the market is not doing what you think it should be doing, you are wrong, not the market. Okay? So this is why these live trade briefs are critical. Even if you can't attend, I post the replays, right? Because the market is always right. Okay? That's what exactly. 90% of this is psychological, folks. Okay? So right now, the market being up here is not, it's hypoxic up here. Okay? So I'm going to train you how to do this in our live trade briefs, which we're kind of in, and obviously through Thursday. And then how do we fight? First of all, you can't make money if you're losing. Okay, I'm going to show you. We're going to place a trade here in a couple minutes because I'm waiting for something to settle out. I'm going to ask you a question. This is an F-18. It's a CF-18. It's a Canadian F-18 that was practicing for an air show, 200 feet, high alpha pass. He was doing about 85 knots. If you were on the runway underneath him in my Porsche, you could have blown past him. He was standing this Hornet on its tail, demonstrating the slow flight capability of the F-18 Hornet. His motor failed. His right motor failed. In the blink of an eye, this airplane rolled over, and this dude pulled the ejection handles and was out in the blink of an eye. If he had waited, they did the math, a half a blink of an eye, he would have ejected into the ground. I'm going to ask you all, when did that young Canadian flight lieutenant, whatever his name is, rank, when did he make the decision to eject out of that aircraft? I'm not going to waste your time for you typing the answer. In the brief. A lot of people say, oh, when the engine failed, when the wings rolled. No. That young aviator made the decision to eject out of that aircraft in the brief. sipping on his venti upside down caramel macchiato in the air conditioning. The time for me to decide what I'm going to do if I get shot at by a missile over Afghanistan is not when I get shot at by a missile over Afghanistan. I'm sitting on the aircraft carrier flying that mission. I've already made these decisions. The time to freak out is not when it's time to freak out. In these trade briefs, folks, in a trade we're going to do in a couple minutes, we're going to step through everything in the brief. Everything that could potentially go wrong, we're going to discuss. And we're going to make the decision of what we're going to do now. It's funny. I'll send out a text and email alert. In case you're not in the brief live with us, you're going to get a text and email alert. Okay? And it's going to show you when I'm getting out, either for profit or loss. It's funny. People are like, do you send out text alerts, updates? And no. I send out opening trade alerts. Yeah, what about closing? We already covered that in the brief. That's why there's a brief. Folks, if you've ever listened on the Discovery Channel or History or Military Channel, if you ever listened to like a real fighter hop, it should be calm out. There shouldn't be a word said. Why? Because we're doing what we briefed. Usually on those shows, there's a lot of yelling going. If there's yelling going on over the radio, what's going on? It's something that we didn't brief. But it should be very quiet. So managing risk, folks, the first thing we need to do is manage risk. Who does that? You. You're the pilot in command of your portfolio, but in full throttle training, I'm going to teach you that you need to have what we call an SOP. Standard operating procedure. In the trades I'm going to show you this week, I'm going to show you what my SOP says, right? There's the NATOP's flight manual for the F-18 Hornet. We say that it's written in blood. Why? Because people have done dumb shit. When you do dumb shit, it ends up in the SOP. Don't do that. So I'm going to teach you the don't do that's that I've learned over 32 years. But managing risk, ladies and gentlemen, you can't make money if you're losing money, right? The first question we're going to ask when we cover trades this week isn't, how much can I make? Wrong. The first question you're going to ask yourself as I train you is, how much can I lose? What's the first rule of investing? Don't lose money. What's the second rule? See, the first, it's not to make money, folks. It's not to lose. Maybe step number 3 is to make money. We want to make money consistently. Base hits, no home runs, man. You can hit it over the fence every once in a while. If you keep trying to hit it over the fence, you're going to strike out a hell of a lot more than not. So we're going to go take a look at a trade, and I'm going to show you for this type of what we call a spread. Again, if you don't know what the hell a spread means, full throttle training is going to teach you. But I'm going to show you how we don't want to risk a certain percentage of my model portfolio, right? For example, if I have a $50,000 model portfolio, I don't want to risk more than, let's say, 10% on any one trade or 5% on a $100,000 model portfolio. Where are you getting those numbers? That's me. 5 to 10% of my total portfolio means I live to fight another day. If I fall, hit my head, and I don't manage my trades. I do, though. Okay? So let's go take a look at a potential high probability trade, okay, for in the market here. Okay? All right. So let's go look at our portfolio. This is the primary portfolio, and you can see how we're doing year to date. Pretty damn solid, man. $76-ish thousand. That's pretty tight, man. I am very happy with that. I'll show you each portfolio the day that we do it. Let's go look at where we are right here. So currently, ladies and gentlemen, we are hypoxic up here. JP Morgan earnings on Friday. And again, a quick abbreviated brief would be, we'll do a deeper in brief SOT tomorrow. because today's a little bit of an intro and stuff like that. But we got to talk about AI. We're going to talk about Ukraine. We got to talk about what else do I want to talk about? Inflation. This was funny over the weekend, folks. Want to beat the stock market? Avoid the cost of being human. This is so funny. This was a God moment over the weekend as I'm reading this. Professional fund managers labor under handicaps that individual investors don't face. Make sure you manage your portfolio differently than they do. Duh. This was, I should send the Wall Street Journal a check for, thank you for writing this article, especially before our full throttle training. But let's go take a look because I want to get a tactical trade on out to Friday. Look at this market right now. Anybody see a trend? This, if you're technical analysis, head and shoulders, it's also a triple top here, folks. This market is hypoxic up here, okay? Raging inflation. We had the Fed minutes last week. We had some Fed lieutenants running around. They're going to raise rates again at their May meeting out here. I, ladies and gentlemen, have, and if you're new with all the hundreds of new folks in here, I've made, and you can go back if you're really bored to the beginning of the year, end of last year, beginning of this year. What did I predict? 6, 7, 8 months into the future. I said what? A June. You're gonna get a PP in June, or a 3P. A PAL, pause, or pivot. The pause is going to be the pivot. What do I mean by that? They're going to raise another 25 points in May. And then I think at that press conference, when Jerome Powell walks up to the microphone, he's going to do the whole, you know what? Taking a look at all that, I'm not going to imitate him, but he's just going to, translation, we're going to hang for just a little bit to see how things settle. You will see a rip your face off rally. Oh, hold on, Wiz. You said inflation's raging, corporate earnings might be kind of crappy. Ukraine, you're telling me everything's bad. Yeah. Here's another Wizism. The market is not the economy. Say that with me again. The market is not the economy. As a matter of fact, you ready for this? Welcome to Bizarro World in Trading. The worse the economy is doing, you ready for this? The better the stock market's going to do. What? Ladies and gentlemen, I used to have a massive bookshelf full of smart trading books and this and that and everything. They're gone. Maybe 1 or 2 investment books remain. Why? It's over with. Let me show you where capital, well, first of all, I'm like Forrest Gump, folks. I was sitting in the Chicago Board of Trade at ground zero during the financial crisis. I was there. I went to the VIX pit when it was at 90. So, ladies and gentlemen, I thought 2008 was the, we'll never let this happen again. Okay. But ladies and gentlemen, so right here, so I timed that. There's your January 22nd, folks. Donald Trump, me, COVID crash, me making millionaires. Right here, ladies and gentlemen, it was like March 28th or something, or end of it. It was a Thursday morning. It was a weekly. I was getting ready. I was typing. I'm like, oh my God, 6 million weekly jobless claims number. I had never seen anything like this in my life. Clearly, nobody, even Charlie Munger and the 2 old Muppet guys from Omaha, never seen anything like this. Steve Mnuchin, Treasury Secretary, was a partner with my sister at Dune Capital. Steve Mnuchin, if we don't take extraordinary steps right now, we will see 30% unemployment. Do you remember these days, folks? I do. Wrote a book about it. What happened here? 6 million jobless claims. I was getting ready to hit enter on the most bearish trade of my life type of thing. Made millions on the way down. Then what did I do? I said, stop, buy everything with both hands. It's the bottom. Why? Because Jerome Powell came out and dropped the biggest financial nuclear weapon known to humans. And that happened. What happened? So the guys and gals who got this wrong, right? Oh, this is the bottom. Buy here. This is the bottom. What did they do on the way up? Even Jeffrey Gunlock, Double Line Capital, and months later, he's like, we're going to retest these March lows. I'm like, dude, you're an idiot. And he was. He got it wrong. We did this. So right around here, I promptly threw out every book on investing. So ladies and gentlemen, you see this? This is the Fed taking away the crack pipe. This is crack. It's bullshit. And everybody's a genius. Oh, I'm printing money. Yeah, no kidding. How you doing now? Exactly. Everybody's a genius here. We're a genius here because we're doing some great work. But here's what I'm getting at. Let me go back to here. The June, so get ready to get bullish out here. We will, when you become a member, we will be bullish out here. We even, last week, I said this. I'm like, let's start thinking about an August, a July, August, bullish S&P 500 trades. But we can be bipolar. We can be short-term kind of bearish in here still, because I think we're going to get a little pullback here. Or in earnings, we might keep hovering. But right around here, folks, get ready to buy with both hands. And I'm saying the worse the economy is, the more we're going to get a rally. Why? Because Jerome Powell's not going anywhere. I'm a member of a big mastermind group. They're all hooked on crack. Maybe literally. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know what's going to happen. The worse the economy gets, they're going to have to do what? Cut interest rates. QE. Can you believe? I never thought in my lifetime I'd see a Federal Reserve chief. Jerome Powell did a 60 Minutes interview, folks, a couple years ago. Google it. I make money. I print it. We print it, and then I send it to Federal Reserve banks. And then usually I make it digitally. I sit here on my laptop, and I hit enter, and I print money out of thin air. Hey, dude, I'm doing my taxes right now. Can you hook a brother up? How come if the Fed can just print money out of thin air, we have to pay taxes? Different discussion. But what I'm getting at, folks, is clearly with everything getting worse, the Fed's going to have to pause their interest rate increases and maybe even have you seen since the Silicon Valley Bank, bunch of limousine liberals, wow, bail us out or we can't make payroll. Tough. Capitalism without failure is Christianity without hell. We need a little hell here. But again, trade the market you have, not the one you want. I don't want people not to get their paychecks and shit like that. But you know what, folks? This country's gotten too soft. But anyway, I'll stop wanking. Here's what I'm getting at. We have a ton of earnings this week. Where's the calendar? Markets. Calendar. Holy crap. Look at this earnings week, man. I got to scroll down. So green is before BMO, before market open, and purple is obviously aftermarket. Wow. Massive earnings week. Now, guess what happens during earnings? It's a story of individual names. JP Morgan, great. Morgan Stanley, boo. I mean, it's usually chop. Usually you don't see a massive market move because the market has what? ADHD. JP Morgan's came and they're gone. Who's next? It's always, the market's really never present. It's always forward looking, right? Here's what I'm building what we call commit criteria to get to a trade for the week. So I want to put this one on because I think we continue this chop. First of all, if the Fed does not get involved to save capitalism, we should be down here. Period. That's not going to happen. What do we have coming up in 2 years? Say it with me. An election. They're already going after Jerome Powell. Pocahontas from Massachusetts. Jerome Powell's he's the fall guy, man. They're gunning for him. Ron DeSantis. Meatball Ron, as Trump will call him. What? He gave a speech last week where he went after Jerome Powell and the Fed. I'm like, yes, finally. The dude who sat here and said inflation's transitory for years, as we all were burning to death going, how do you define transitory, dude? Is it over yet? Oh, sorry, we're going to ditch the word transitory. It's not transitory. It's actually sticky. No shit. You're the guy in charge of this stuff and you fail? If he had any shame, he'd be gone. Anyway, enough. What I'm getting at is we're going to chop through earnings this week. We need to, this can happen. Anything can happen. I've seen God. I've experienced God. God's with us right now. God can go, you know what? That's going to happen, Wiz. Great. I'll trade that. But for now, these moving averages, there's the 50, there's the 100, there's the 200. These veins are all kind of inverted-ish. We got the human circulatory system going down here. And let me scroll down just a hair to look at the moving averages. We're close to having a little bit of a crossing. As you can see, when crossings happen, usually something big happened in that market. Okay, so all my commit criteria, because I'm going to throw on a little bit of a bearish trade right up here through Friday as we chop through earnings. Also on the flight schedule, really nothing going on this week. I think tomorrow we get building permits and housing starts. Wednesday, nothing. Thursday, existing home sales, conference board, nothing. A Fed lieutenant speaking, and then Friday, some PMIs. So nothing. It's an earnings week, folks. This is why I'm saying it's a chop week. I might even look at a tactic that is range bound, meaning and here's what's cool, folks, is if you're new to options, I can show you a trade that if the market just hovers and moves sideways, you make money. Most of you, if you know anything about the market, you just know, wait a minute, I got to buy something that needs to go up. No. With options, I'm going to teach you something can go down or something cannot do anything. Wiz, this thing's just hanging here. Perfect. I'm going to make money on it hanging. We can do that, okay? But as the market's imploding here, I want to get it. Let me get this trade on. So out to Friday, I think we're going to at least hover to roll over, and we're starting to roll over, or just kind of chopping right now, right? Out to Friday. So this is the S&P 500. I trade SPX. Now, some of you might trade SPY. It's an ETF. It's an exchange traded fund. I'm not a tax attorney. I'm not your accountant, and I certainly don't play one on TV. But I will tell you that Wiz, I don't know about you, Wiz gets better tax treatment trading SPX over SPY. And giving you that little piece of intel probably just paid, if you trade or invest a lot, for your membership here at Topkin Options with that gouge. That's something you have to look into on your own. So I trade SPX. Anytime, folks, whether it's Wiz, I like trading the Russell. Trade RUT, the RUT, not IWM, the ETF. Trade the Qs, not the whatevers. So trade the index, not the ETF. Anyway, out to Friday. I'm going to take a look on an out to Friday trade. Let's deselect this. And so, important safety tip with options. If you trade Friday, Friday is what? April 21st. Okay, looking at my E-Trade platform, folks. If you see a month, April, and a year, 23, that is the regular monthly expiration. I will teach you this if you're new to options. These other ones, when you see a month, a day, and a year, those are called, in this case, daily options. Here's Monday, here's Tuesday, here's Wednesday, here's Thursday. April 23 does not mean April 23rd. Okay? It means the third Friday of the month. The third Friday of this month, 1, 2, 3, is April 21st. Now, some brokerages write it like that. I think Thinkorswim might display it differently. I use E-Trade. Here's what I'm getting at. You see this expiration? These options expire at the opening bell Friday morning. Okay? So the last day to trade these, where it says AM, is technically Thursday afternoon at the closing bell. Because once the opening bell sounds and all 500 names in the S&P settle, their first price hits, those options expire. Okay, so I think last month some of y'all got caught up in that. No. When you see AM, that means it expires at that opening bell. So Thursday is the last day to trade these. Okay, quick little options instruction. This one is full Friday. These options expire Friday at the closing bell. Again, folks, if you're sitting here going, dude, I don't even know what an option is, we're going to get into all of this in our full throttle training. Full throttle training is a building block approach. This is the market. These are calls. These are puts. You're going to get access to 8 training sessions where I sit here for an hour to an hour and a half and just talk about that. I'll spend an hour to 2 hours just talking about calls and puts, okay? So building block approach. So if you're sitting here going, this dude's losing me, good, because it should feel like you're drinking from a fire hose. This is Navy flight training, folks, but I promise you the payoff is awesome. So let's go out to Friday, the regular April 23rd options. What did I have? 40 pre-market. I had like 41.75. I like this one. Okay. So I'm going to step through this trade right now with you, and I'm treating you like you're in a regular live trade brief, but I'll go a little slower this time. I'm going to sell 15 of Friday's 41.75 calls. Let me minimize this and bring up the chart. When I sell those 41.75 calls, it's kind of out of the picture up here. That's up here. That's me saying the S&P 500 is not going to be above 41.75 by Friday. Okay? When I sell calls up here, that's I'm putting a ceiling on it. Okay? Sell the 41.75 calls. That's the ceiling. Wiz, what if you're wrong, man? Rarely happens. But what if you're wrong? Between now and Friday, Jesus, Ganesh, Buddha, and Muhammad come back to life, and they're running the country, and the market just goes to infinity because everybody's so happy. I'll be happy. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy upside calls. I'm going to buy the 41.80 calls in case I am wrong and the market just rips higher. Little bit of a hedge on top of my ceiling. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to sell 15 of the roof, the 41.75 roofs. And then here's the attic in case I'm wrong, in case this thing just takes off. Okay? I'm going to bring in, when you sell something, what happens? You sell anything. You sell your car, your house, you bring in money. This, ladies and gentlemen, on your screen is called, so I'm bearish on the market. I don't think it's going to go up. I'm using calls right here, and the calls are spread apart. This tactic on your screen, folks, is called a bear call spread. I'm bearish. I'm using calls, and these strikes are spread apart. It's also called a credit spread. I'm bringing in a credit of $2,100 to do this trade. I am getting paid. I'm selling this. I'm getting paid to do it. Bear call spread is also called a credit spread. Okay. Now, let's talk about the bad. I didn't even talk about anything else. I'm going to talk about the bad. I'm bringing in a credit of $1.40. Let's use political science math. Double this credit. $2.80. Write that down. Everybody should go to Staples, Office Depot, whatever. You should have a trade journal. I write, man. People use Excel sheets. People use Word documents. I'm a booger eater, man. I need pen, paper. Why? Because it's also mental to me. When I write down, when I look at my own handwriting between now and Friday, and I'm like, hey, dude, you said you'd eject out of this trade at that point. There's something to be said from engaging your brain to un stilo and writing. Like, hey, man, here's where I said I'd take profits. Here's where I said I'd get out. Okay? So double this credit. 14 times 2 is 28. I want the exact opposite. I want the entire $1.40. Not all of it. We're going to get to that in a second. If the S&P starts climbing, that credit, $1.40, is going to start going up. $1.50, $1.90, $2. That means the S&P 500 is going up. I don't want to take a max loss on this trade, so I might consider ejecting out of the trade, closing it, at $2.80. Everybody give me a vertical head nod. I just told you in this live trade brief where I'd consider getting out of it, so I don't take a max loss, okay? So I didn't even go any further in this trade, and I told you when I might get out of it to minimize my losses. Now I'm going to teach you something at TOPGUN Options. I'm going to look at the S&P 500 in this little band. We're getting ready to explode or implode. So let's get this on. When I click on snapshot analysis, we're looking at the order ticket right now. When I look at the snapshot analysis, I want you to look at one place and one place only. Max potential loss. You ready? 3, 2, 1, max loss. Right here. Don't ever look here first. Always look here. 5% of this $100,000 model portfolio is $5,000. I'm right in the ballpark. I don't want to risk more than 5%-ish, $5,000-ish on any one trade. Even though, how much capital are we using right now in this model portfolio? Look at this, folks. We have a ton of cash in this model portfolio, so technically I could go higher in risk, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stick with my SOP of $5-ish grand. Now, ladies and folks, this is based on 15 contracts. If you're sitting there going, Wiz, I only want to risk $2,500. I want to risk $1,000. That's you, man. You fly and fight your own airplane. That's based on 15 contracts. There are people in here, I want to risk $10,000. I want to great, to double the contract. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not a registered investment advisor or broker dealer. I'm showing you what I would do. So once you put a check mark here as the pilot in command of your portfolio, now you can bring your eyes up to here and go, okay, max potential profits 21. I'm risking 54 to make 21. Using at the money volatility in SPX options, there's a 75% probability of making $2,100 this week. That ain't too shabby, man. 52 weeks times $2,100, that's a six-figure just doing one trade a week, folks. That's potentially pretty nice. Okay? Now, on this screen, the previous screen on the order ticket, we talked about the bad. Let's eject maybe at 280. Let's talk about the good. When would I get out of this for profit? 2,100. Wrong. 7, 8, 9. Here is also my SOP for a credit spread. If I'm looking at a 70, 80, 90% profit on the credit that I took in, $2,100, close it. Pigs get slaughtered. Do not turn a 70, 80, 90% winning trade into a 100% loser. You don't have to write in the chat box, that happened to me, or good. Don't ever do it again. Steve Miller, go on, take the money, and run. Donald, this tip is worth the price of admission and will change your whole trading game. 789 is the best advice you will ever get. Thank you, Donald. And guess what, folks? I told you the SOP is written in blood. You're looking at him as a young student naval aviator playing golf in Kingsville, Texas. Looks like this trade's going to expire this afternoon for max profit. I'm going golfing with the guys. Get home, smelling like cigar smoke and Miller Lite, not Bud Light, looking at my account going, oh my God, Wiz, you turned a $1,700 profit into a $5,400 loss, you idiot. Ladies and gentlemen, don't be that guy or lady that's like, there's $300 left in here to go. I want that. Yeah. Do not do that. All right, let me go back to the order ticket real quick because I want to take a screenshot. Why am I taking a screenshot? Because I'm going to show you that I'm going to send out a text and email alert because you don't have to be in the live trade briefs. A lot of people, hey, man, I'm working. Well, guess what? You're going to get this trade exactly when everybody else did. So, and a lot of people watch the replays later in the day during lunch or when the kids go to bed, whenever it is. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to send out a text and email alert. So I grab screenshots of it and then text and email alert. Now, unfortunately, these text and email alerts aren't cheap. So I'm not sending it out to all the free people that were signed up. Just my members are going to get this. SPX 417 metric. Now, and I'll show you also what some other folks. So I also do this. I'm going to try and get filled on this trade at $1.40 plus or minus 5 cents. Meaning the lowest I'd go is probably $1.35. The highest I'd go is $1.45. That's the range I want to get filled in. Why? I'm going to teach you that in full throttle training. So I'm going to stay at $1.40. I'm going to fire this trade and then watch this. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to go give it. We're in full throttle, but these people get my trades right away. This is the Max Afterburner Lifetime group. I'm going to paste that in there. The trades only thread, so they get that immediately. And then this is called the Hunters. This is also an investment club that you can get access to today. So they get it immediately. Okay, they get the trades right away. Then I have to take sorry about that. Here's the Hunters. Then, see, I just pasted this trade in here. It says Max Afterburner trades only. This is the Max Afterburner Intel and commentary thread. So this is where we post all our Intel, our commentary and stuff. And then over here is trades only. Opening and closing trades over here. This is Lifetime. We're not going to talk about Lifetime this week. It's a whole separate thing. But you can get into this one. There's 76 people in here right now. This is called the Hunters. This is another investment club. You can get access to this one today. But here's over here where it's going to take me 5 minutes to shoot a text alert out to everybody. I'm going to send this out to I will send this out to everybody, as a matter of fact. Where is it? All the way down here. The joint briefs. I'm going to do this down here. But before I send out the text and email alert, let me finish the brief here because people are asking how to join. Let me just review this real quick because I just said it all, but I'm going to hit it with slides. Max profit or exit for minimum loss, folks. Right? It's Bob. That's the afternoon trade. That was not the morning trade. Okay. So when do we take profit? 789. I just showed you a bear call spread. 789, folks. Nobody's gone broke taking a profit. Look at the top of the slide, folks. What's it say? Discipline and risk management equal what? Superior execution. If you ain't disciplined, your execution's going to suck. If you don't manage your risk, your execution's going to suck. Discipline and risk management. When do we eject? On a credit spread, double the credit we took in. That's me. You can come up with your own SOP. I'm going to teach you all this stuff, folks. Okay, so I said this. Don't turn a 70, 80, 90% winning trade into 100% loss. It'll suck, and then you're not going to want to do it again, right? Here, Bill wrote this, pigs get slaughtered. I remembered what Wiz told me. Exactly. Do not turn a 789 into 100% loser. Okay. Wayne, you said your Lifetime and you didn't get the alert. Which alert? You should be over here in the trades only thread, Wayne. We can talk about it offline, but you should see that trade in there. If you're Lifetime, yeah, we can talk offline though. But okay, real quick, let's blast through this stuff, folks. Go on, take the money and run. Okay, I'm going to show you how you got to be disciplined and manage your risk. All right, real quick. I'm going to pitch this and then send out the text and stuff like that. But remember, we got Tuesday, Wednesday. That's full throttle. Thursday, I'm going to show you solo Amazon. It's our separate standalone service, okay? Mike, great question. I'll answer that one at the end. Mike is saying, how will AI change trading? You ready for this? It won't at all. Wait for this answer, Mike, because trust me, I've looked in all this stuff. You ready for this? I'll answer a little bit of it right now, and then I'll finish it up at the end. AI deals in what? What should AI be dealing in? Rational. Spock, ladies and gentlemen, Spock, Nanu, or that's Robin Williams. Live long and prosper. Spock would be the world's worst trader. Why? Ladies and gentlemen, I told you at the height of COVID, I should have taken a picture of it. I remember staring at it, my recycling bin. It was out on the curb. I looked at all the books I've accumulated over the years of trading. They were in the blue recycling bin at the end of my driveway. Why? It's over with. So AI can't, because it makes no sense. Because AI would look at this market and go, rising inflation, war. AI would go, oh my God, the market should be at zero. No, we're stupid humans. We're going to keep printing money out of thin air. AI would be like, if you keep printing money, inflation's going to, it doesn't work. Trust me, folks. In my mastermind group, I have a buddy, really good friend of mine, who's been doing this. He's got black boxes. He's like, dude, AI can't learn from us because we're stupid. Does that make sense? Let me go through this. That's exactly right, Steve. Humans trade on emotion, not logic. Let's get airborne, though, because people are, yeah. So, folks, don't listen to me, man. You can head over to Trustpilot. We have 4.9. I have one negative review. It's from a dude who was just a jerk to fellow members in the live trade briefs. Usually we're in Go to Training, folks. We have just shy of 200 members, and you can be in Go to Training. So you guys can see each other's chat. You become friends. In this, with hundreds and hundreds of free people in here, we're in Go to Webinar. So you can't see each other's chat. But I booted that guy. He was a jerk. And under our terms of service, if you're a jerk, you can get booted. He lost his chargeback with his credit card company and then went on Trustpilot and wrote a negative review. So I love that guy. And then 4.9 on Facebook. Dennis, $6,200 yesterday, dog fighting the S&P 500 for 22 grand in the past 3 trading days, folks. I have had my streak ended last week. I had a 3-week long streak of S&P 500 sniper shots for 22 grand. And then took 2 in the chin towards the end of last week. Bob, I've had several investment advisors over the years, right? None of them paid much attention to my account. Much better off following Wiz and learning slowly on my own. That's the gold star right there, folks. Robert, he was keeping track of my trades, man, during the COVID crash. He tracked them for 18 months. From when I started those investment clubs to October 16th, $791,000 in profit in 17 months, not including commissions, obviously. Commissions are on you. Everybody's got different commission rates. Started with Wiz over 4 years ago. Made over 450 grand in that time. I haven't said it in a while, but thanks, Wiz. Tony, he took his paper trading account. I think that's old. He's crushing it. That's an old one. Wiz just joined 12 days ago. Small account. I'm up 6 grand already. So proud to have joined your squadron. Christine, back in Amazon, solo Amazon, took she $200 or $2,000 account to 60 with Amazon. See you at 10. Very happy to be here. Thank you for your honesty. I will not always agree with you, but never for one moment do I doubt your sincerity or your love of our great country and your deep desire to see your clients kick ass. How's the smart money doing, folks? Take a look at the hedge fund index. How they doing year to date? Is this a joke? Yeah. This is the smart money, folks. Look at their performance. 10, 11, 10, negative. Look at this, folks. You ready? Let's all laugh together. When the market was going straight up, yay. When we're in this chop, they suck. They're not smart, folks. Trust me, I've been there. Okay. All right. So these were taken last night. So these don't reflect this morning, but they're probably within a grand or two. This was last night. I took screenshots across the portfolios. The primary portfolio, 75 grand. A hell of a lot of S&P. Why am I doing that, folks? There's some Amazon, Goldman Sachs, and volatility in here. Folks, it's the heart rate monitor. I don't sit, I love when people are like, hey, look at this stock. I'm like, no, I know nothing about it. I trade what I know, right? So we've been printing money on the S&P 500. So weekly options, 33 grand-ish. A little bit of Amazon, S&P 500. AR, accelerated retirement. Again, S&P 500. Some Amazon, some Facebook. Oh, there was that week. Remember the week, oh my God, all the regional banks are going to die. Yeah. Sniper. I'll take 5 grand on stupidity. So, folks, we are, what's that, 165? 170-ish, 165, 170, and then you add solo Amazon in as one of my portfolios I manage, and we're looking at over $200,000 year to date. 4 months. That's pretty damn good. Yes, there's a record. You go on the Top Gun Options homepage. You can look at you can download all this stuff, all the trades, opening and closing. The performance is on the homepage. Absolutely. Hey, real quick, that's a lot of green. That's a lot of green in there, folks. But you ready for this? Losing trades happen. I had like 4 SPX trades last week that were winners and 2 losers. Losing trades happen. Now, looking at the model portfolios year to date, there's losing trades in there. But thank God, knock on wood, there ain't no red. But there are losing trades in there, right? There are unknown unknowns. Something could happen. Breaking news on the lower third of your screen. Reported tactical nuke explodes in Ukraine. Holy shit, man. The VIX will be at 90. So things, a famous Rumsfeld quote, man, there are unknown unknowns, man. We lose some battles. They are losing trades. There's no way. If you ever go to a brief like this and the dude or the lady's like, oh, all we have is winning trades, run. They're a liar. They're lying to you. I have losing trades. But if you had been here 10 years ago or 12 years ago, I did the math from when I started, if you'll allow me to round up, about $6 million with a 70-ish% win rate. What the hell would you do with $6 million in 10? Obviously, folks, you can start with a couple grand. I think for E-Trade to open a brokerage account, it's like $1,000. To get margin, it's like $2,000. I don't even know. I can't tell you what to start with. There are people trading $1,000 or $2,000 here. There are people. We have a couple two billionaires that kind of manage. They have a family office, but they love trading with me. But what would you do with $5 million? Well, I told you what I'm doing with my $5 million. That's our most recent crew that we took to Costa Rica. Badass F-15 fighter pilot, Smurf F-18 pilot, badass F-14 pilot. My beautiful bride, and our director of medicine operations. What would you do with your money? I've been throwing it over the fence. Now, I also did buy 2 fighter jets, but I use them to raise awareness for veteran suicide. That's some serious money, folks. If you had started with 10 grand 12 years ago, man, that's pretty damn good. What do you need to trade successfully? Training, folks. I didn't say education, did I? The world is full of educated derelicts. Take a look at the campuses in this country. Holy shit, I weep for our country. The world is full of educated derelicts. You need training. Fighter pilots are trained. Doctors are trained. Plumbers are trained. You need training. I'm going to train you. You need a plan. Strategy supported by tactics that manage risk. Contingency plan. You need to debrief after each trade, what worked, what didn't, and come up with some lessons learned. I'm going to teach you all this stuff. And then you need to practically apply it. How do you practically apply the 8 training sessions I'm going to get? In the live trade briefs. Demo do. That was our motto in the military. I'm going to demonstrate, you're going to do. How do you know what I need to be successful? Dude, I've been you. I've had these now what moments. Great. I know what a call is. I know what a put is. Now what do I do? I rose from you, a young Navy fighter pilot, teaching myself how to trade, to essentially running a multi-billion-dollar Wall Street firm, folks, to building my own CNBC for options, the Options News Network. So I've been you. I didn't have a me. I didn't have a Topkin options. Before Al Gore invented the internet, I had to go to the base library to check out a book on options. It was tough. So here's what you're going to get today. You're going to get access to my primary live trade brief. That's every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Okay? You're going to get access to the weekly options brief every Wednesday at 10 a.m. And then AR is every Thursday at 10 a.m. Well, Wiz, this is Monday. Usually, we do solo Amazon on Mondays. But with my full throttle weeks, we start off just kind of with this. So usually it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But solo Amazon on Friday, or I'm sorry, on Monday is not part of Full Throttle. Wiz, taking a look at that flight schedule, I work. Well, guess what? Welcome to the party, pal. About 80% of our current members work. You don't have to be here live. I'm going to, in a minute, you don't have to hang out as you watch me send out a text alert, but I'm going to send out a text and email alert. So you don't have to be here. And I put the replay up in about 20 or 30 minutes. As soon as I close this brief, I'm going to post the replay. It takes 20 to 30 minutes to render. Since you're not a member right now, some of you, I'm going to put the replays right here. So for all of you who maybe showed up a little bit late, here, right here in the chat box, please save that link, because in a little bit, the old ones from last quarter are on here. I'm going to update this page with this replay in a little bit. So just allow me to finish my brief, and then I'll post the replay. Okay? So, I mean, look at Chris. I'm so geeked. Been a subscriber for almost 3 years, and this is the first time I've been able to attend live. I only know you from the replays. That's pretty cool. So you're going to get a text alert. There's an Amazon text alert. And then I send out an email with the screenshots. You're also going to get, when you join Full Throttle today or this week, 8 training sessions. This is the market. These are calls. These are puts. Look at this. A building block approach. Valued at about $897, folks. There are crappy people out here with options education, charging thousands of dollars. It's a disgrace. Where I charge the money is for the live trade briefs, the intel, the trades. This stuff should be cheap. The education, the training shouldn't be cheap. The price should be. So for 8 training sessions that you can watch over and over again, which I strongly recommend you do, because you're going to pick something up each time. You're going to get access to your training sessions today. So here's what you're going to get today. Okay. Marty, up $100 on SPX, 10 minutes. You're welcome. 24/7 access to me. Access to me in the Hunter's self-directed investment squadron. You get all my opening and closing trades and the intel. Okay, that was at Hunter's. I'll show you again in a second if you forgot what that looked like. You're going to get access to the primary accelerated retirement and weekly options trade briefs, Tuesday through Thursday. The 8 training sessions I just talked about, and then your manuals, primary, intermediate, and advanced workbooks. Here's where you need to go. Go.topgunoptions.com/FT-hunters. Let me just go to that page, and I'll give it to you. Here's where you need to go. Go.topgunoptions.com. FT stands for Full Throttle -hunters. There's the link. Now, let's start. Let's block this off for a second. And let's talk to the right side of the screen. Full Throttle Annual is the place to go. I just showed you a trade that between now and Friday can make $2,100. That almost pays for an entire year of Full Throttle membership. It's usually about $6,000, 50% discount. It's $29.95. And between now and Friday, I'm going to be doing a hell of a lot more trades. So not just the one trade could potentially pay for your membership, but the rest of them this week. You get access to all the full throttle stuff I just talked about, and you also get access to this. This is let me show you what the Hunters looks like. That's my instructor panel. Here is the Hunters that it looks like for you. Here's the member page. Here's the Hunters. The Hunters Self-Directed Investment Squadron. There you go. This is what it looks like right there. I'm posting my trades. People are posting their trades. Andrew's posting intel. This guy, so this is what it looks like to you all. This is my instructor platform, and I can see how many users are in there, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So you get access to full throttle, the training, the live trade briefs, and the Hunters Self-Directed Investment Squadron. That's $29.95, folks. With a couple trades this week, I'm going to pay for that. Now, Wiz, I want access to that thing, but I'm still kind of feeling stuff out. I want access to that Self-Direct Investment Club. I want your trades immediately. I want the intel. I want to see what other folks are doing. But I want to feel it out. I want to make sure you're not a complete idiot. Okay? Thank you. Do this. It's $4.97 a month. I personally would like you in here for the rest of your life. That's a great business decision. But as a bro, I'm going to tell you, do it for a couple months and give us a call. Shoot us an email. All right. You're not an idiot. I want to upgrade to the annual to save money. You will save money doing the annual, folks. This is where you need to end up. But a lot of people do this for 3-4 months or whatever to be in the investment club and to get access to all the full throttle stuff. This is it. That's a great middle ground vehicle. Okay. Now, Wiz, just heard about you. This is the first time I'm hearing you rambling. That's probably where you should end up. $295 a month, man. This is our test flight. Well, no, it isn't. It's funny. People are like, do you offer trials? Yeah, I do. It's today, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then we're done. Before COVID hit, I used to go to industry things in Orlando or Vegas. People are like, dude, why do you do this full throttle thing? Why don't you just give them 52 PowerPoint slides and have them buy and then show them what you do? I'm like, that's embarrassing. I don't want to do that. I don't want any surprises. I want you all to come in here and walk around as I'm conducting regular flight operations. You like it, you stay. You don't, you leave. You should charge for that. No. I don't want any surprises. So if that's you, let me just kind of figure this out. It's $295 a month. Try that for a month or two and then either upgrade or upgrade. But with the full throttle monthly, you do not get access to the Hunters. You ain't paying for it. So you're not getting access. You do not get access to this. Okay, for $295. That's just, you're not paying for it. Okay? Does that make sense? That's the difference between all of those. Everybody give me a vertical head nod that you understand that. Okay? Folks, trading in combat. I went way late. I apologize. Trading in combat to you might seem complex. That bear call spread seems complex. No. How do we battle complexity? Simplicity. Hopefully, unless I completely failed, I broke that down, didn't I, to a nice, easy to follow, right? So you're at decision range. I'm going to keep briefing the rest of the week. Excuse me. I'm going to knock out my briefs. You're welcome to come to the rest of them. Obviously, they're all free, but you need to act now because the 50% annual full throttle is for this week only, and then we usually go up in price. Okay? And we usually take 50 because I don't want 5,000 people in here as members. It gives me agita. I hope I'm not offending you by not answering a ton of questions right now because when I get to the end of my brief, I'll dig back into this stuff. But I got to be honest with you. I can't. As an instructor, I want to answer every question. So when you become a member, you're going to be in a nice, tight-knit squadron. I will answer every question. Okay? You got it. Keep it simple, stupid. Wiz had many other subscriptions. Raging Bull. Those guys were criminal. Money Map. Tim Sykes, Jack Clark, many others. None of them worked as hard as you, and none delivered results like you. I wish I had known about you years ago. Awesome. I'm not going to read all these. You can go to Trustpilot and read all that stuff. Small account alert. $8,000 in the past 2 weeks, trading 2 to 3 contracts. I love this one, Larry. Folks should feel good when they are doing well. Don't worry about others making 30, 50, 100 grand in the same time frame. You are having success. Go with it. As the account grows, so will your ability to buy more contracts in the future. Slow and steady wins the race. You literally saved my portfolio from blowing out completely. I'm a lifetime member now, and I look forward to many years of learning and investing with you. All right, now I'll go back and answer everything. go.topgunoptions.com/FT-hunters. Now, since I knocked out the intro brief today, man, tomorrow we're in it. I'm going to say, hey, everybody, welcome. Boom. Strategic, operational, tactical brief. We're going to, and if you showed up late, please watch this replay. If you're watching this replay right now, because you didn't attend live, watch it a couple times, man, because we're going to hit it hard. Elaine, you got to call your broker. It depends. It depends. I forget the rules on a Roth, to be honest with you. I don't have a Roth. It depends. Yeah, just pick up the phone and call whoever you're trading with, and they can answer that question. You're welcome. Absolutely. Good. Yeah, the SOP. That's exactly right, man. Yeah, that's it. Yep. Goose, so true. When I deviate from that rule of engagement is when one big loss of your airplane can wipe out many victories. That's exactly right. Oh, yeah. Duh. Sorry, I'm sitting here like talking about making money and stuff. So I gave you the replay page right here. Let me give it to you again. All the replays from this week will be on this page. These are the replays from last quarter. If you're really bored, you can go. We had a great full throttle last time, folks. Last time we did full throttle, we did $19,000 in profitable trades that week. In a week. We were on fire. We loved it. We haven't sucked since then. It's been awesome, but I love when the full throttle weeks are awesome. Hey, man, there are full throttle weeks where I'm like, ooh, took it on the chin with a couple trades. Good. You see that I'm mortal and losing trades happen. I almost get more nervous when I have a really good week. I'm like, oh, boy, I set the bar pretty high. But you get to see everything, man. Good, bad, ugly. This is what we do here. So there's the replay page, and then here is the purchase page. Again, if you want to be in the investment club, in the hunters, you got to do one of these two. Test it for a couple months, or you know what? I'm ready to get airborne today. Save 50%. This is the, I want to feel it out for a couple months, but you don't get access to the investment club. There's your brief. Actually, today was a long. So, all right, here's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to shoot a text and email alert. If you want to sit here and watch me do it, you are more than welcome to do that. Where's 40? Right here. So I just kind of grab it. If not, you are cleared to leave. But I will see you tomorrow. New PLTB SPX bear call spread. If you want to hang out, you can see how the process works. $1.40 credit. Plus or minus, what did I say, 10 cents? 5 cents. 5. Maybe eject at what? $2.80. I got filled on that, didn't I? Yeah, I'm filled. So folks, you ready? Here you go. In this brief, you made $500, $400 right now. And the S&P is going even lower. Look at that, guys, right there. $500 you made in this brief right now. You're welcome. New primary live trade brief. SPX bear call spread. 15 contracts. So $295 a month. I just paid for 2 months. You're welcome. Essentially, contracts. It's a Friday expiry. April 2021. April 21 expiry. I'm going to sell. If I could spell sell. 4175 calls. And then I'm going to buy those 4180 calls. at $1.40. All right, so that's the text alert. See how this takes a little bit of time? That's why you want to be in the hunters or the lifetime group, because this, even though I'm quick. Yeah, I will answer that in a second. Let me finish, get my text alert out. Let's go. New, or PLTB, new SPX weekly bear call spread. All right. So I just paste in the text alert for whatever reason, even though you're about to get the text alert. And then I put SPX bear call spread. And then I paste in the screenshots that I took. Okay. Click on the image, change image, browse, quick access, SPX 417. So there's a screenshot of that. Then I also put in the metrics. Change image, browse. This is why you do the lifetime or the whatever, because it's, there you go. So, all right. So there is the trade. So I got an email that's good to go. I got a text that's good to go. Let me go back one more screen and I click publish. Yeah, the market's rolling over. We got a good, you could take profit right now. See, this is on you, right? If you like making $600 in a free live trade brief, good for you. I can't tell you when to take profits. That's a good looking trade. That's why I say 7, 8, 9, right? Like if I can make 70% in a day or two, I'll close it. 8, yeah, it's just up to you, man. You have to come up with your own SOP, okay? Save searches. We are in joint briefs. And again, no offense, but yeah, I asked my techies, I'm like, if I wanted to send out a text alert to everybody who registered for Full Throttle for free, they're like, it's like $5,000. I'm like, okay, we're not going to do that. No offense. All right, so this goes out to all of my members. So I just selected all. Whoops. Apply, remove tag. The joint briefs. Save, and then it's going to fire. So it's going to take, a minute or two for it to process the 1,400. We have, what was that? 1,300, 1,400 members. And then we will get a text and email alert. All right, what's that? Let me look at that question. Somebody just asked, what's that question? I thought when you do a credit spread that your max profit is limited to the amount of spread that you took in when the trade is placed. Can you clarify, please? Yes, that's your max potential profit in a credit spread is the credit you took in. Your answer is yes. I don't need to clarify it. You know exactly what you're talking about. In this bear call spread, the max potential profit is $2,100. That's the credit we took in. The max potential loss is $5,100. So no clarification needed. Yes, you got it. Okay. I shot a day trade. We have a day sniper that I sent out to my lifetime and my hunters. It's the 4125, 4130. Why? Because look at that. I'll teach you this stuff, but the SPX moves in $25 ranges, man, or pretty damn close. So we're going to see if 4125 is a support here. So yeah, I shot an earlier trade on, absolutely. Yep. But yep, there's our year to date. This is in one portfolio, man, in 4 months. So multiply that times 3, and that's potentially how the primary is going to look by the end of the year. I'll give you the link one more time. There you go. So how long did that take? And then there's my text alert. So I got the text and email already. This is what the email looks like. TGO member, new, and I just pasted in the text alert at the top. I don't know why I do that, redundancy. And then you get the screenshot, right? Boom, right there. Got the screenshot of the trade. It's in your, so you get an email and you get a text alert. Okay. Love it. PLTB, new weekly bear call spread. So even if you're not in the brief, you get the trade. And then as soon as I'll show you. Yeah, exactly. There it is right here. There you go. Text alert. So I think I got the email quicker than I got the text alert. So it takes, I don't know, a minute for it to go through. Again, folks, this is why you need to be in the hunters, because you get it immediately. I posted this trade, 11:18, and it's 11:51. So, yeah, I'm sorry. That's the replay page. go.topgunoptions.com/FT replay. I'll give you that one more time. And then, yeah, on that page, there's green buttons. That'll take you to the order page if you want to join from here. Just click enlist in Top Gun Options Full Throttle now. But I'll give you it right here. $295 a month if you just want to hang for a couple months and see what we're doing. $497 a month if you want to hang and be in the hunters. And then this is the best deal out there, folks. It's 50% discount, $29.95. With the trades I do this week, unless I'm a complete idiot this week, that's always a possibility. But this is why I do this live. You're getting to see everything in progress. I went way long today, and I apologize about that. That ain't going to happen Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This is the welcome aboard brief. The ones going after this I'm going to pretend you're already signed up, and boom, we're going to town. And we're gonna knock it out. Okay. All right. I'll get the replay posted here shortly, and I'm going to sit here and trade a little bit more as I see some potential S&P 500 sniper opportunities, and good stuff. You're welcome. Yeah, man. Absolutely. You're right. Yeah. If you go to, I go speak at those. I can't stand doing it, folks, but I got to be honest with you. I do it because I get leads, right? People, do you want to speak at our multi-speaker event? You have a half an hour slot from this time. I'm like, how the hell can somebody make a decision to want to trade or have me train them in a 45-minute speaking slot? This is why I open the doors, folks, because you can't. No offense if you've done that, but I wouldn't. Look at that. Nice solid bounce. Nice solid bounce off of 41.25. I love doing this stuff, folks. I'm very passionate about what I do. Yeah, you can, if you go to the YouTube channel for No Fallen Heroes, you can watch. We have a couple of those, couple of the trailers. No Fallen. Shoot me an email if you're interested in the medicine or finding out. Yeah, I am always up to talk to anybody about healing and the medicine, and we'll talk on Wednesday in accelerated retirement. We'll talk in AR, accelerated retirement, about the medicine. This was a cool podcast, folks. If you're really bored, there's Marcus Luttrell and me. Talking about the medicine. That's his beautiful bride, Melanie. But Marcus and I talking about the medicine. This is a great. I watched this again last week just because I miss my brother Marcus. And this was a good podcast. If you want to listen to Marcus and I talk about the medicine work that we did. All right, guys. I love you. Sorry I went late, man. But it's the first day of Full Throttle. I gotta unzip my fly, so to speak. Look out for the replay. Grab your membership now. If by Thursday we get 50, we close the doors. I'll still do the free briefs, but we end up closing the doors, man, until the next quarter Full Throttle training. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. Fights on. And namaste, basi, basi. I'll see you tomorrow in our weekly options brief. Fights on.